Hey everyone, welcome to episode 6 of Road to CPU Nationals 2017. I'd like to apologize first and foremost. I haven't been uploading content on the schedule that I outlined. I've been busy for the past couple of weeks, so I apologize. Hopefully, I'll be able to upload the content on a more regular basis as the meet comes closer. So, today we're going to talk about meet day planning and why it's important. So, you've been training 12, 16, 20 weeks, and today is finally the day. It's meet day. But you don't have a plan. What are you going to do? You know, I think sometimes we get caught up on the training aspect of powerlifting, and because competition is actually such a small percentage of the training life cycle, it's one day out of the, I don't know, maybe 3, 4 days out of the year, if you compete that many times, that the intricacies and the little variables within a meet get overlooked. So I just want to talk about the things that I do that help, you know, minimize those variables and set me up for success for a good meet. So the first thing I want to say is that not every powerlifting meet is the same. There will be different judges. There will be different judging criteria sometimes, unfortunately. There will be different venues. There will be different warm-up rooms. There will be different competitors. There will be different crowds. There will be, I don't know, there will be a different you. Who knows? There's a lot of different things that can happen on a competition day. And being able to navigate that minefield is tough. It's not an easy thing to do. And you know, there's a few little things that I like to do that help me, stay ready for game day. And I want to talk about a few of them. So the first thing, and I think many of you have a version of this, is the meet day checklist. So I piggyback this idea from Aseret, and she made this great worksheet that helps you outline everything that you could possibly need for a meet. And for any of you out there, I would recommend making a meet day checklist outlining every single thing possible that you would want to bring to your competition, including the basics: your singlet, your shirt, your socks, your shoes, your belt, your wraps, your sleeves, your ammonia, your food, obviously, rollers, ibuprofen, rubs, extra shirts, extra underwear. Happens. Things like that. I mean, you really don't want to start your day off wrong where you forget something at home or you forget something far away if you're traveling and you can't lift. You can't lift to what you want to lift or your capabilities because of the thing that you forgot. So, meet day checklist is easily the most important thing that you need to start off with. So, expanding on that, there's a few things that I like to do, and when it goes into the actual meet itself, there's just a lot of, really easy things that you should always be aware of, or your handler should always be aware of, so that you can be set up for success for a competition. So a few of those things are like when you go to your meet venue, understanding the layout, understanding where the warm-up room is relative to the lifting platform, understanding where the washrooms are, where the weigh-ins are taking place, what the weigh-in order is, where to get your attempt cards, where to get your rack heights, simple things like that no one's going to explicitly tell you where they are. You have to kind of be assertive on finding those things out. And for me personally, that's the first thing I do when I get to a competition. Because for me, that brings me peace of mind because I know what I need to do and I know I can do it as quickly as possible. So, I've seen, like, for example, at the Centrals, the warm-up room was a minute away from the lifting platform. Like I timed the actual walk from the warm-up room to the lifting platform. And when I was handling Aseret, the meet itself actually took under 2 hours, and there was only 5-minute breaks between events. So that 1 minute walk actually was quite significant in terms of eating into our rest time, eating into our eating time. So just, that's an example of just being aware of the variables. For me, I also like to have a warm-up plan. And obviously these warm-up plans, things can happen. You might have to adjust. But having a plan at least gives you some kind of peace of mind in terms of breaking down this huge, huge day-long event into easy to manage pieces. So for example, if I'm warming up to a 550 opener squat or something like that, I'll roughly need 9 attempts. And if I'm in a flight B scenario where I have flight A preceding me, I would like to break down those attempts into 3 attempts, 3 warm-ups per attempt in flight A. So when flight A is doing their firsts, I want to knock out 3 warm-ups. When they're in their seconds, I want to knock out my 3 middle warm-ups. And when they're on their third, I'll knock out my last 3 warm-ups. So I'll time it where my last warm-up is hit about 6 to 7 minutes before I go. Having a kind of a plan that way, I find to be helpful in terms of me hitting the numbers that I want. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how strong you are. If you're not ready to lift when your name is called, it doesn't mean anything. Like, you're not going to be able to lift the way you want to lift or the way you think you're able to lift. So being prepared for that competition is really, really important. And I'm not going to go into what I eat, more so when I eat. Something I've been doing recently is portioning out the foods that I'm preparing for the meet, so that I know I'm getting a set quantity of food, rather than under eating or overeating, because I find that either one of those will negatively impact me. So just being aware of how much I'm eating when, I find is really helpful in terms of making sure I don't crash, or making sure that I have enough energy throughout the long meet day. So those are a few things that I'd like to point out that are pretty important for meet day. And again, this may be obvious to some of you, but for some of you this may be useful, because I just think that for a large part of us, we can easily get derailed on emphasizing what's important. And you don't want to waste like a 12-week training cycle because of a silly error, because of you didn't know where warm-ups were, or sorry, where weigh-ins were, and you missed your weigh-in, and your refeed time was cut in half because of it. Just really simple stuff like that, I think can be avoided, and is actually really crucial for you setting yourself up for success. Yeah, I think I covered most of what I wanted to talk about regarding meet day planning. Next week, I might talk a little bit more about that, when it comes to actual attempt selection. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Road to CPU Nationals 2017, and I will catch you next week. Cheers.